WattWerks BMW Rally and Drift Performance. Tonight I'm starting the how-to video for installing the Primitive Racing roof vent and roof scoop on my 1996 BMW 318 Ti rally car. Kind of going to go over how I mount the vent, how I measure out the whole process of measuring out, drilling the holes, where to place everything, how to seal it, and then I'm also going to kind of go through how to get the fiberglass roof scoop onto the car. Stay tuned, lots of good video, show you how to do all this, and yeah. About 1.5 inches back from the patch plate is where I want to start this line here of the vent. So it's going to sit like yay. And then I'll center it off of this. You know, there's 3 holes across the front. So I'll center the center line with this middle hole. And then I'll run this leading edge of the vent off of the 1.5 inch back line. And that's where the vent's going to sit. I'm going to cut the hole, bring the patch plate back on, tape it back down, tape this up and inside, and then pull the roof scoop over top. So that way I can see where it fits, because we want the roof scoop to fit over the vent, so that way you have plenty of clearance room for the vent, so that way nothing hits each other. Which seems to be, there's a center bar here, or a crossbar here on the vent, or on the scoop, and it seems that the front leading edge of the vent, when lined up with that crossbar, gives you an appropriate amount of clearance room and kind of tucks the vent in so you can't really see it from a distance. That's what we're going to do. We're going to mark these lines up, probably pull this plate off, cut it, and then we'll go from there. So, on to that step. We want the hole to actually be 4 inches, which is the size. Oh, man. This is exactly 4 inches, so we want it to be probably like 4 1/8. From anywhere from 4 1/8 to, say, 4 3/4 wide this way, forward and backwards. So, okay, so where I'm at so far, I have the 4.5 inch deep by 10 1/4 inch wide hole marked out with Sharpie. Everything's straight and square and so on and so forth. I always mark all the lines that I don't want to cut with an X. That way there's no confusion when I do get over to the saw. So the next step is I'm going to probably go around and mark a 1/2 inch in line all the way around the roof patch. So that way I know where to start the holes. So when I pull this plate off, or the roof patch off, I can go through and drill all the holes where I want all my rivets, which are probably either going to be 3, 4, or 6 inches in spacing. And I can also cut the hole for my patch and drill all the holes for the rivets for the vent. So that's the next step. And then once we do all that, we'll bring it back over. We'll get it kind of mounted up, centered, and so on and so forth. And then we'll start mounting the scoop. So as it sits, all the rivet marks are the marks for the holes for the rivets are all marked out here on the patch plate. Every 3 inches here on the front and the back. Every 4 inches for both sides. The 4.5 by 10 1/4 hole is marked out. X's over the lines that I don't want to cut. Center point is marked. So before I pull off the roof patch and cut the hole in order to insert the vent and install the vent into the roof patch, I'm going to drill a hole in the center front and the center rear, the rivet holes for front and rear, so that way I have an alignment for whenever I go to install this back. I don't want to go through and drill all the holes right now first, because since the roof line is curved this way, side to side and front to back, and I want to put silicone down in between the roof and the roof patch, I want to just mark the holes now, drill the holes, that way I have an alignment, and then whenever I go to, that way I can take things on and off, everything's aligned, and then when I'm ready to go, I can put silicone down, put the roof on, line it up with these two holes, and then I can go and work my way out to, because the aluminum, to work the aluminum out with the bend of the car. So I'll do a hole here, or I'll do a hole here, hole here, hole here, hole here, and work the aluminum with the curve of the car as I have silicone down to seal everything off. So first, let's drill some holes. Always clean up as you're doing things. A clean workshop is a happy and efficient workshop. Alright, so I got the front, center, rear center holes drilled all the way through into the roof. I got all the other holes marked with the drill. Next I'm going to pull all the tape and pull off the roof patch, and then we'll go cut it. Alright, got all the tape off. Now let's go over to the workbench and cut a hole. Alright, so for this step of the process, since we're going to cut out this hole, you're going to need a drill, a jigsaw, well, a drill, and the drill bits for the drill will be a, we're going to do a 3/8, which is about the width of the jigsaw blade that we're using. That way we can drill out the corners of the four corners of this hole. So you're going to drill out the corner with the edges of the hole touching the two outside corner lines. That way you have a place to start the jigsaw blade. And then we'll need an 1/8 inch drill bit, since we're using 1/8 inch rivets to install the vent. So we'll get started first with the 3/8 drill bit. Also, make sure you always have your safety glasses on, and when operating like a jigsaw and so on and so forth. Even welding, those of you who don't know, welding sparks, especially when you're doing like roll cage work, love to land in your ears, and it hurts like nobody's business. It's happened to me many a times, and now I always wear earplugs when I'm welding. So, little fun fact for you. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to put silicone around the edge here. I'm going to bring this down, put it in, pop in all my rivets, pop, 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 and then let her dry. And there we have it. So now we have a fully fitted, silicone sealed, be water resistant. And it's all riveted on with aluminum rivets. Save a little weight. I'm going to pull this plate off. I'm going to drill out all the holes that I've marked here on the aluminum patch plate. I have the center front and the center rear drilled through both the aluminum and the steel roof. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to silicone it, put this down, center it, line it up with the front center and the rear center, rivet those, and then I'm basically just going to work back and forth and work front, back, side, side, and work my way out towards the sides, and then I'll do the edges last as the silicone's in. So once I start this, I can't stop. This is like one of those processes that you got to do in one shot. Otherwise, you're drilling rivets and you're scraping silicone, and it won't be very much fun. So everything's wiped up. A little bit of the silicone oozed out from it squishing down. I'll go through with a straight razor and just scrape that up. Once it dries, it's a lot easier than just taking a rag and smearing it, which I already did. Some of the centers of the rivets fell out, so I'm going to have to go through with a dab of silicone on my finger and patch at the tops of all the rivets. Alright, so tonight we're going to install the scoop onto everything else that I've assembled so far. So far I have the roof plate, or the roof patch mounted to the roof with rivets and silicone. I have the roof vent mounted to the roof plate with rivets and silicone. Now we're gonna, with putting the scoop on, you want to have the vent open all the way so it clears on the inside and doesn't hit the scoop. And then by going off of the center lines that you used previously to mount the vent, you're going to find center for the scoop, and then you're going to go forward and backwards depending on clearance of the vent and meeting the profile of the roof. Once you found that, I went through and I already went and held this down, or found where I wanted to be, held it down, traced all the way around it, and then so now I know where that I need to be for that. Next I went through and I marked my center points for my holes. So I went 3 1/4 inches up from the bottom, or 1/4 inch up from this lower, or this rearward cross brace, and then I came 3 inches in from the leading edge back, and then for this one it's a 1/2 inch in, or 1/2 inch from the inside, and this one in the front is 3/4 inch from the inside. So that's where I want my holes to be. I'll have to so now I'm going to have to measure out. I'll bring these lines out to the edge and mark them on the edge, like here, so that way I can line up where I traced the profile onto the roof. And then I'm going to measure in the distance from the side to the center point, and then I'll go where it lines up here from the side to the center point, mark all my centers, double check myself, and then I will drill my holes. Primitive Racing includes a hardware kit. Comes with some stainless M6 bolts, flathead with Allens, and then some acorn nuts, some stainless washers for on the outside, and then some like galvanized zinc plated larger washers for the inside of the car. So obviously stainless on the outside, the rest of the stuff will go on the inside. So I'm going to double check all of that and then go from there. Obviously forward and backwards and where you mounted the vent is going to change on every car, so there's no defined distance forward, backward, car to car, so you're going to have to figure that part out on your own. And then center point, you just find the center point in your car and go from there. So let's get ready to drill some holes here. So first we're going to do a pilot hole, and then I'll grab the step bit or Christmas tree bit and take it to the dimension about 1/4 inch. M6, 1/4 inch are about the same. I'll probably take it one above 1/4 inch, just so that way we have a little bit of play for alignment, just in case I was off a little bit. Also, one thing I just realized, you should probably cover your seats before you start drilling above them, so that way you don't put a bunch of metal burrs into your seat. And then you're going to have to go pick them all out, or else they're going to end up in your racing suit. If you got fat arms like myself, I'd recommend doing the back bolts first so that the scoop can still wiggle a little bit up and down, and then do the front ones. Alrighty, so roof scoop and vent have been installed. Everything's bolted in nice and tight. Overall, great product, very easy to install. I'd highly recommend again. This is a Primitive Racing roof scoop and vent setup. I'll have their website attached below in the description. One thing I would want to note from earlier, before I forget, I noted some dimensions. From the back forward, I said I went 3 1/4 inches. I would recommend going 3 1/2, give you a little more room. And from the outside in, I would go a 1/2 inch, not 3/8. That'll give you a little bit more room that way as well. So, or did I go a 1/2 inch? I'd go an extra 1/8 that way. That's what I'd do. I don't remember the exact dimension, but I'd go an extra 1/8 that way. 3 1/2 this way. But great product, easy to install. You can see it in there. Whoop. let me adjust the camera here. You can see it in there. Let me open it. There's open. There's closed. Bring you inside here. You can see it. Roof panel. Open. Closed. So, thanks for watching this how-to video. I'll have links to all my social media and to my website, WattWerksFabrication.com, down below in the description. Go check all those out. Check out the website, maybe order some stuff. That'd be great. Hit subscribe. I think I'll have a little button up here. Hit subscribe, like the video, and shoot me any comments. Shoot me an email off my website. Let me know if you have any questions about anything I do. I'll be glad to answer them. Again, thanks for watching. Look forward to more how-to videos. And have a great day.